What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of the new and improved version of Style Lessons. I'm joined today by Jonathan Evans, the senior style editor at Esquire.com.
What's up, everybody?
And Christine FLAMMIA. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, you did.
The associate style editor of Esquire.com. I'm Ben BOSKOVICH, the social media editor at Esquire.com. And this is a new series that we're launching that we are going to be talking about the style topics that you should care about most this season and moving forward. And because the weather has begun to break, our topic today is going to be about something that you're going to start seeing a lot of on the streets, and you're going to start hearing a lot of debate about it, maybe, if you are within a friend group or a work setting where you talk about clothes and things that people should and should not be wearing. But I think that a lot of people talk about sandals and flip-flops and summer footwear. And we at Esquire definitely have our own opinions on what is the most stylish footwear out there when the weather gets warm. And what are some of the maybe things that you save for when you're in the dorm shower and on the actual beach. So I guess I'll pose my first question to Jonathan and Christine. In 2017, this summer, what is the popular summer footwear that you're going to be seeing out there the most? Not necessarily on the beach, but just, out and about.
I think sneakers are going to be like the number one, and I think that's because in part you've got all of these knit sneakers, your prime knits, your fly knits, your knits, your all these different knits are actually really breathable, especially if they're engineered to be that way. So you can do something like a knit Stan Smith or like a fly knit racer, and you're pretty well set in terms of breathability. But I think you can also see those most of the time during the year. But that's where I think things are going to be going on the streets. The thing, though, I think you're driving at is where are we going to see these sandals?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think you're going to see sandals on the street, right?
Yeah, I mean, we always see sandals on the street for sure. They're not always done well. But I think that's a big thing. I know a lot of people that have strong opinions against sandals. It's because they're in an improper setting, I would say. Mm-hmm. If you're in New York City and wearing jeans, don't wear sandals with them, ever. But
I think that's the general rule of thumb. If we're gonna jump right to the sandals and or open-toed shoes discussion, and I guess we're not talking about women's pumps and stuff like that here.
No.
We're just talking about men's style.
Unless you're into that.
Yeah.
Do you?
That's fine.
Do you?
But the open foot situation, when you expose your feet to the elements, New York City is not a place where you want to expose your feet to the elements.
No, man. You don't want to get anything that's on the sidewalk in New York on you. That's just a terrible idea.
Yeah. And I would guess most major metros or even rural areas rural areas, I don't know what kind of shit is under the grass and can jump up and bite your toes off. So there's a whole new concern there that I'm not familiar with. But.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to sandals, there are a couple of things to consider. One, is someone going to step on your toes, right? Or are you going to be near something where you can take a toe off, right? So like
a lawnmower.
A lawnmower, an asshole on the subway, you could lose digits this way. And I think that's a big part of the reason for me. The other part of the reason is a lot of people have really ugly toes, man. Really, really ugly toes. And that oftentimes, I wish I could be that's not your fault and it's fine. But a lot of times it's their fault.
Well, I think the number one thing with exposed feet is that's just it. It's not the shoe itself, it's your feet.
You just see people's feet, and that's weird for a lot of people.
Feet are gross, just period. I would say females tend to care for their feet a little bit more. They get pedicures, they have some polish on, they look as presentable as they can. Guys, I don't want to see your hairy toes ever.
Dudes do not take care of their feet.
No, literally never. There's no shame in getting a pedicure. You don't need to get nail polish. Just they'll trim around it, have some nails that aren't yellow and repulsive.
Have you ever gotten a pedicure, John?
I've never gotten a pedicure.
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've had one.
How was it?
It was delightful. I mean, I'm a little ticklish, so that was an issue, but I felt a little bit more confident afterward.
Yeah?
I didn't have nasty teeth.
I will say I tried on a pair of sandals in a store last week out in LA, and I was told that I have very nice toes.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So you're approved.
That felt pretty good.
So along those same lines then, if you're gonna wear a sandal sort of shoe. What are the types right now that you guys are seeing like really trending, and like what is like because like I know a lot of people when we're talking about this, they're probably picturing flip flops in their head, like your standard like flip flops that we have here. This is probably what you're picturing.
The thong.
The thong, some say. My mom always said that. And I'm like, Mom, don't say that. Like,
You don't want to hear your mom say thong.
You don't want to hear your mom say thong. Rule number 1. Style Lessons episode 1, rule number 1. You don't want to hear your mom say thong. A great reason not to wear flip-flops. But there are plenty of other options that are like cousins and distant second cousins of the flip-flop that like exist and can be worn stylishly. What are those?
I mean, I know that Christine has a particular favorite because we've talked about this at length. So I'm gonna let you.
I mean, I love slides, and I know that's not necessarily a universal opinion. In fact, I know a lot of people who don't like them, but like Adidas slides, like give me 40 of them. I think they're great. And yeah, I think those can be styled well for the summer. It's not a look that every guy should go for, and if you're not sure, don't wear them. That's my biggest advice. If you think it's a risk for you, ask a second opinion. Ask my opinion, I'll answer.
I love slides. I have slides, and I break the rules that we were just talking about, and I wear them outdoors, and I've paid the price. Like, I think the last time I wore my slides to the bodega to get something, like, I don't know how, but a piece of gum literally got up inside and under my foot, between my foot and the slide. And I was like,
sounds unpleasant.
How does this happen? And then I realized, like, this is why you're not supposed to wear them on these long walks.
The
like
fashion
this.
gods were striking you
Yeah,
down.
they were like,
exactly.
no, you should know better. You've seen your business card.
I mean, I think the thing about slides too is that they're just a welcome departure visually from flip-flops and their ubiquity. Like, and don't get me wrong, flip-flops at the beach and at the pool, in the dorm shower, which is like a long way away from me. They're great. Like, they do exactly what they're supposed to do, and that is fine. And also, I wore sneakers to the beach the other week, and that is just the stupidest damn thing that you can do.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm knocking flip-flops for their utility. I'm saying aesthetically, I think it's kind of nice to see something like a slide. It covers up a little bit more of the foot, so if you got those hairy hobbit feet, like you got a little bit of extra hobbit foot coverage. But also it's just a little bit different. And I think that they've come a long way past that kind of bro-y, like frat bro-y connotation that you like think of from back in the day. Like, you can get high fashion ones that have sometimes very funny and sometimes really, really stupid sayings written across the strap on the slide. Like, there's a lot you can do with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of are on trend with the whole like retro athletic kind of wear too. So if you're into that, I feel like slides are a great option.
So what about a more dressed up occasion? Like you're on vacation and you're going to like a beachside restaurant or something like that. You got your linen pants on and your Hawaiian shirt. What's the footwear?
Oh man, espadrille.
Yeah?
Easy, yeah. Once the kind of issue of getting sand all up in your shoes is out of the equation, or at least less of a huge factor, like as in you haven't just been walking or swimming in the water and then just get sand-caked feet. Like, once you've got that mostly out of the way, you can still be walking on the beach. Espadrilles are great. Like, they're easy to slip on and off. They're inherently laid back, but a little bit cooler, and like, they're just a really easy version of a slip-on sneaker.
I think they have character. There's
do
like
have
something about
character.
them that's not basic.
You got that jute on the side, give it a little bit of extra look. I mean, they're cool.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a nice way to show that you know that you're wearing these specifically for that kind of occasion. Like, if you're just wearing a pair of like straight up slip-on sneakers, nothing necessarily wrong with that, but it's not really tailor-made for that environment, whereas espadrilles just feel very, very at home in that kind of casual, water-adjacent, summery locale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to take this opportunity to take a break and encourage everybody that's watching this to let us know in the comments what your preferences are. What are your feelings on flip-flops? Have you tried espadrilles? What do you wear during the summer? Let us know in the comments. I think that a big part of the summer footwear thing is the sand, which you mentioned, and I think that's like a very binary thing. There are people that like don't mind the sand in their shoes and might actually enjoy it. And people are like, I don't want sand anywhere inside anything that, other than like maybe a flip flop.
Yeah. Who are these monsters that like sand in their shoes?
Me?
Are you?
I'm a monster because
Are there any other monsters out there?
Yeah, my people. Let's start a Facebook page together. I like bought a pair of canvas loafers specifically to like replace flip-flops because I don't mind like when sand gets in there, and I thought that was like espadrilles didn't really like look good on me personally, so I was like, what can I do otherwise? So got the canvas loafer. I'm actually wearing them right now. And I feel a little sand in there, and it reminds me of my time at the beach. I'm like, kind of feel like I'm at the beach a little bit when I'm wearing them. Especially when you go sockless, you can feel underneath there a little bit.
Yeah.
It reminds you of nicer times.
Sand fleas.
Is that what you're really
What
feeling?
is a sand flea?
You don't know what a sand flea is?
No, is that why I need to worry about it?
Yeah.
Clearly I don't know what
Sand fleas are a thing also.
What is that? Like a
They're
dog flea?
fleas that live in the sand. So that's what you're feeling on your foot.
I thought it was just the sand. So now I'm in the other camp. Now the other camp's empty. I was the only guy left. We've transitioned.
So they are functional for that purpose. Flip-flops or an open-toed sandal. It's definitely appropriate. So that way you don't get sand fleas.
So we know that the issues with flip-flops being on the outside, other than the situation we say is like, feet are weird. It's dangerous. You can get gum underneath there, or like nails or something.
I worry about glass, man. Like,
glass.
Yeah, was in my neighborhood, saw a guy sitting on the curb just breaking a glass into smaller pieces of glass, and then I saw someone walk by with sandals, and it's just like, you're out of your freaking mind.
Here we go.
That crazy person with his glass deconstruction project is right there next to you, and you're wearing something that's just begging for like, well, I guess in this case it wouldn't be tetanus, but something like it. And it's just a bad idea.
Oh my gosh.
It's true.
So, and you mentioned as well sneakers. What are some of the sneakers that you're going to be seeing a lot of this summer out on the streets while we're talking about that?
I
know you mentioned the knits.
Yeah, I think you're going to be seeing a lot of the knits, and then a lot of just the classic like court shoe inspired low tops, like the guys that range anywhere from like Stan Smith all the way up to like Common Projects and Achilles, something like that.
I think slip-ons too. That's always a good
Yeah.
summer. Whenever guys are like, breaking out of their boat shoot phase, which please break out of it. Slip-on sneakers are a great option because they wear kind of the same. They feel kind of the same. They come up a little bit higher on your foot, but you're an adult, so.
Is leather sort of something that you should put aside during the summer, even in like a slip-on loafer sort of deal?
No, leather can be fine during the summer. It's just making sure. So I think loafer is a good thing to get into here, right? Like, when you're thinking about loafers, if you're going sockless, number one, honestly, probably not the best idea to go genuinely sockless. Just wear a no-show sock because it's so much easier on your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care if it doesn't bother your feet to be sockless. It bothers your shoes because your feet are
That's
sweating
interesting.
and it's getting into that material. So every time you wear a pair of loafers, genuinely sockless, you're just getting sweat into the leather. Even if you're wearing a no-show sock, that's going to happen anyway. So you want to rest leather shoes, whether it's like, normal kind of full grain leather or suede or anything like that. You want to rest them for at least a day between use so that they have time to fully dry out. But I think loafers are a freaking fantastic way to approach summer footwear. And I think it's also nice, like, loafers when you're wearing socks can be kind of terrifying because you're showing so much sock. Like, if you're just saying screw it, like that's the top of my foot.
Yeah.
That's freeing. That's a nice feeling.
Definitely. Christine, in terms of wearing all of the summer footwear, when it comes to how much ankle to show, because I know that like people, especially in the summer, like are showing a lot more ankle. Like when you have a shoe that isn't like a mid, like mids and high tops, kind of pants stack on top of them, or they're like cropped with a certain amount of break. When you have like these and espadrilles and loafers, that's like a very low silhouette. What is the proper amount of break or ankle to show?
Ankle to show. Well, I will start off by saying that like jeans and flip-flops, just don't ever wear them, ever. No break will ever.
Is that rule
be
number
okay.
2?
That's
Rule number 2. Jeans and flip-flops, never.
I think like every girl has a nightmare about like guys wearing like long jeans that are kind of like frayed at the bottom with like a pair of like rubber flip-flops. Like,
Yeah.
Nope. That's never okay, and it'll never be okay. But in terms of a shoe that we do like with a pant, I would say it really depends on like the person. I know that's a not like specific answer, but if you're like a little bit shy about it, I would say like just a little bit, just show a little bit of skin, nothing like maybe just cuff the end of your pant, so you get a little bit out there. You'll feel like a new man. But I mean, some guys own it. They're just going full out with a big cuff or two, and that can look cool too. But just make sure the hem of your pant isn't too, or the leg of your pant isn't too wide. So if you roll it up and it looks like, like a capri pant, if it looks like you're about to go wade into the water, no.
And like the lower calf is starting to show.
Yeah, like not a good look. You don't want it to your calf to be like swimming in the bottom of your pant.
You brought up something that I thought was really interesting. You said to not have the leg opening of the pant be too wide. But Jonathan, we know that that's sort of a trend happening right now in menswear, is that pants are getting a little bit wider. We talked about it on Style Lessons umpteen times. How does that transition into summer and wearing these sorts of shoes and this type of footwear?
I mean, I think one of the things is if you've got the hem of your pant leg, like whether it's jeans or whatever, a little bit wider, you kind of want a little bit more substantial footwear to balance that out. Mm-hmm. So if you're wearing like a really streamlined espadrille with like a cropped and kind of very wide leg pair of jeans, it's probably going a little bit unbalanced. Mm-hmm. In that case, maybe you want to go with like a chunkier like sandal type thing. Like maybe you want to go with a chunkier, like maybe even a brogue or a derby or something like that, but like a loafer with a little bit more oomph to it.
Yeah.
Then you can get even, like, if you want to get weird with it or slightly weird with it, and do something like, kind of the classic Birkenstock close to a clog. Like, that's a way that you can make it work. But that's definitely, again, like you said, like, if you're feeling at all weird about that, like, if you're not sure you want to do it, do not do it, because you will not be happy. Like, it will just make you feel weird.
Are we on rule number 3? Because I have a third rule.
Rule number 3. What's rule number 3?
Okay, our third rule is like there are rules, but they really are meant to be broken. But you have to learn them first. If you don't know them, then please don't break them.
You can't break them properly.
Yeah, you can't properly break them.
So I think that the lesson here is that if you're going to commit to the wide leg trend, at least make sure that your footwear matches it in terms of
it's all about like all things menswear. It's all about proportion, like balancing proportion against other elements within the outfit. That's why when you talk about like if you're going to go wider on the lapel of a suit, you have to go wider on the collar and the tie, or else it looks strange. It's the same idea, just in a very different context.
Jonathan, Christine, do you have any closing thoughts? I think we've covered it.
Cut your toenails.
Cut your toenails and shave your toes. That's my ending thought.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you next time.
Thanks, guys.